In this video, I'm going to talk to you about how during chronic illness we can be anxious of things that we think might happen in the future. And then I'm going to take you through a little exercise that you can use to start breaking down that fear cycle so that you can stay calm and in a healing space. So I received a comment on my channel from a lady called Tony, and she had realised that a lot of what had been holding her back in her recovery was fear. And I realised I had to make a video about the emotional overwhelm that we feel during chronic illness as we anticipate bad things happening because things feel out of our control. Thanks, Tony. So I'm sure you've got your own list, but a lot of our fears revolve around our treatment by practitioners and doctors, and the other side is around whether we're doing enough in our recovery. During my recovery, a big fear for me was around my teeth. I saw them as a major obstacle to me getting better. I'd spend so much time looking at them, checking for cavities, any sensitivity. I would start to go into a spiral of negative thought. And then when I had to go to the dentist, I would run through my head. It was like I was going crazy. All the different scenarios that could play out. And these I call the what ifs. What if they find a cavity and I have to go through getting a filling? What if the tooth can't be filled and I have to get it pulled out? What if I then have to get a root canal and I don't want a root canal? So then I'll need to get the tooth pulled out. And then what if I need to get an implant, and what if I can't afford it? So I was always living in a future of bad news, always anticipating the worst case scenario. And as you can imagine, it was quite disempowering, very stressful, and it stopped me feeling calm and able to make rational decisions. And my symptoms would often get worse. I was living in the future. And it was a future I had no control over, and it was all based on a little bit of sensitivity in my teeth. So I got stuck in this never-ending cycle of fear and negativity, and that is not a healing space. And I'm not saying that some of our fears are not valid in some way, but we often think that living in the future and going through all the scenarios will help us solve the problem. But it puts our body in a state of fight, flight, or freeze, and stops us acting rationally and calmly. Because during that time, a time of high stress, we become very tunnel visioned, which means we can't actually see the options that are available to us. So how do we break this cycle? So I'm going to take you through an exercise that I use with my clients, and I call it the what ifs. So you're going to need a piece of paper and the notes on your phone, and pick something that's currently swirling around in your head, that you're going through the different scenarios of what could happen in the future. Maybe you've got a doctor's appointment coming up that you're a bit worried about, or it could be something as simple, and I see this a lot, running out of certain supplements, not having celery. These are things that we still live in the future thinking about what the impact could be on us and our healing. Let me know what you choose to work on. I'm really interested to find out. Let's use the example of I have a doctor's appointment coming up and they're going to be taking me through my test results, or perhaps talking to me about treatment options. And I'm worried about what might happen in the consultation. So here's how I break that down. So think about the thing that you're most afraid of. That's kind of the beginning. What if the test results show that I'm getting worse, for example? And then think about what that means if the test results get worse. So for you, it might mean they're going to tell me that I have to take medication and I don't want to take medication. And then if you have to take medication, what does that mean? Well, it might mean that I get really bad side effects. And then if you get really bad side effects, what would that mean? Well, that means I'd get sicker again. And as you can see, that's the spiral. We keep going further and further into the future. And you can keep going if there's more to it, but this is just an example that you can use as a framework to do your own. I don't want you to get overwhelmed doing this. If you can only think of one thing, that's a great place to start. You can actually take that what if, work on it a bit, and see what comes up. And usually as we're going through the process, things will come up. We start to dig deeper into what it is we're afraid of. So just pause the video and write your list down. And when you come back, we're going to make an EFT tapping script out of your list. If you haven't tapped before, it's absolutely no problem. Just follow along and you'll get the hang of it. And if you want to know how you can incorporate EFT into your daily practice, check out my EFT for beginners video. I've put the link in the description. So just take a deep breath in and out. And as you think about this thing that you're fearful of, how intense is the fear on a scale of 0 being not at all fearful and 10 being very fearful? So just note that down on your piece of paper and that will be your reference for later. And so we're going to start tapping now. We start with tapping on the side of the hand and just repeat after me. Even though I have all these what ifs about, and just state the problem that you're concerned about. I accept myself and I'm okay. Even though I have all these what ifs about, and just state the problem. I accept myself and I'm okay. Even though I have all these what ifs about, and just say what you're concerned about. I accept myself and I'm okay. And now we're going to move through the rest of the points and just insert your words. So these what ifs. And so we'll start to state what the what ifs from our list related to the issue that we're worried about. It's just like we're having a chat with a friend. And I'm going to use my example and you use your own as we tap through the points. If you've got only one point or one problem written down, it's not an issue at all. Just repeat that one thing over and over as we tap through. So we move to the side of the eye. And what if the doctor says my test results show I'm getting worse? Under the eye. What if she tells me I need to take medication? Under the nose. What if I take the medication and I get really bad side effects? Chin point. What if I get really bad side effects and I get sicker? Collarbone. All these what ifs. All this fear about what's going to happen. Under the arm. What if the doctor says my test results show I'm getting worse? Top of the head. What if she tells me that I need to take medication? Eyebrow. These what ifs swirling through my mind. Side of the eye. What if the doctor says my test results show I'm getting worse? Under the eye. What if she tells me I need to take medication? Under the nose. What if I take the medication and I get really bad side effects? Chin point. What if I get really bad side effects and I get sicker? Collarbone. All these what ifs, all this fear about what I think is going to happen. Under the arm. What if the doctor says my test results show I'm getting worse? Top of the head. What if she tells me I need to take medication? And you can just stop tapping there. And just take a deep breath in and out. Now, after you've done a couple of rounds like we just did, it's a good time to check in and see where that intensity level is and see how you feel about the thing that you're fearing now. Has the number gone down at all? Just check in with your body as well when you think about it. After just a couple of rounds, we can really start to welcome in some calm. And if you make a habit of tapping on the what ifs as they play out in your life, you'll find in time you'll feel a lot less fearful. If you find your intensity level is above a 2, keep doing what we just did together until the level comes down. You might also find that something else pops up into your head, and it often does. And then I'd recommend you incorporate whatever it is in the tapping you are doing. So just tap and have a chat with yourself. There'll possibly be more to it than you think. Now, a lot of these fears may have their roots in a past experience or series of experiences or an unhelpful belief. And those, of course, will need some work to really break the cycle. But this exercise should help you bring in some calm and may lead you to the very events you need to work on using EFT. So I really hope that you found this video useful, and give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it, and go check out my EFT for body love meditation. I'll put the link in the description. And thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.